I called Governor Romney a short while ago before he gave his talk and congratulate him because he certainly had a clear-cut victory, but we're nibbling at his heels.
I think it's fantastic. We've had a wonderful reception here. I think this week has largely been an indication of that. We had a couple town halls where we had 400, 500 people, very enthusiastic response, and undecided voters who we know have come over to Dr. Paul, so that's great. I think we've taken it very seriously as a campaign that voters absolutely have a right to ask questions of their candidates and get a real answer, and that's been very, very important to us from day one.
Certainly. And if Ron Paul doesn't get the nomination and runs as a third party, would you still vote for him?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. I love Dr. Paul, really, truly. I also don't want to have Obama back in the White House, so I'm afraid that's going to have to be a decision I'll make further down the line.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Kate.
Thank you.
I'm a Republican, and I doubted that he would switch the party to be a third candidate, but in either way, I would write him in no matter what happens.
I think we had a great victory here. I think we're going to be leaving here with a strong second place finish, and this movement is going to keep on going.
Beautiful. And how do you think Dr. Paul is going to do in South Carolina?
I think the intellectual revolution that's going on now to restore liberty in this country is well on its way, and there's no way they're going to stop the momentum that we have started. Right now, it is this liberty movement, which is seen as a patriotic movement, an individual liberty movement that is saying to the country and to the world, we've had enough of sending our kids and our money around the world to be the policemen of the world. It's the time to bring them home.
So inspired when I see the youth that's here, because, and I was talking to a woman today, a Romney supporter, and her friend asked, I can't understand why all these young kids like Ron Paul. And she said, because he wants to legalize marijuana. I said, no. I says, these young kids know more than you do because they live on the internet.
His message, but he literally is the only guy who isn't for the status quo. If you do research on things, it comes down to like Ron Paul versus the juggernaut of the big banks and the government. So I fight for him every day, and I'm glad to be able to finally see him in person.
Beautiful. How about you?
End the Fed, end the wars, return to the gold standard. I can go on all day about everything that's good that I hear him say. So, I buy shirts, bumper stickers. I go as hard as I can for this guy. So.
Beautiful. All right, sir. Victory in a political sense, if he doesn't win this nomination, maybe then it's not possible this time around. But the movement he started makes it more possible for next time around.
Thank you very much, sir. One of you guys getting in this. Hey, Ron, would you mind signing this for me, please? Thank you very much.
Bob, did you show Dr. Paul?
There you go. Thank you.
Welcome.
This is Liam from Emerson College. Just want to ask
How you
you a
doing,
question
Mr.
here.
Paul? Mr. Paul, I have a quick question. With Kim Jong-il's death, do you still think that we shouldn't be involved at all in the North Korean, South Korean conflict?
Yeah, sure. I think this is an opportunity. Their government will be weaker than ever, and they're so weak anyway. They're a third world nation, and they can hardly have electricity at nighttime. I don't know why we have troops over there. It's just wasting our resources. Every time you see any type of military overseas like that, there's an expenditure. You have to think dollar for dollar. That's a drain from our economy here. That money should be spent here. It should not be over there. South Korea is so powerful. They probably have a GDP 10 or 20 times greater than North Korea. So instead of looking at this as an excuse to stay, this should be a reason to leave.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
All right.
Because I don't want any more wars. We don't need to start any more wars. I don't believe them anymore that war is peace. And besides, China said we're not going to get away with it. So we're not going to have peace by starting World War III. That's probably the biggest thing.
Certainly.
That history is on the side of sound money. No paper money, no purely paper money has ever lasted longer than about 50 years. And we're quickly approaching that. It's not whether the dollar will go down in value, it's how fast and how chaotic it is. Ron Paul offers us not a way for chaos, but a way to transition out and to save ourselves from it. He doesn't say we go on a gold standard in a day. He says have competition in currency. Allow me to use little pieces of silver to buy sneakers if the dude with the sneakers wants to take them. And slow but sure, the Fed would either smarten up and treat us right and stop destroying the value of everything I saved my whole life, or people would leave them. And so it wouldn't be chaos. We keep the system we're on right now, oh, chaos is coming.
All right, so one last question.
But it's no longer that irate, tireless minority that is stirring up the troops. Now that irate minority, and so tireless as you have been, it's growing by leaps and bounds. It's going to continue to grow by leaps and bounds, and we will restore freedom to this country. Thank you very much. Thank you.